Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel today. Here I'm just going to quick show you the consistency of the base paint. It is the Pearl Cell base paint that I'm going to be using today with that recipe. The recipe is also in the description box as well. And I do have a paint mixing video on how I mix up this paint. So this paint is with the Bare Satin Enamels interior paint and not the Deco Art Satin Enamels. So on this technique, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm not going to do the dump and swirl with the Dutch pour through it this time. I'm going to be doing something a little different. I actually did this technique on a painting that will be released soon with a collaboration with a couple of different people. So stay tuned for that. So that was the first time I actually did this technique that I'm going to be doing now. But I used different colors on it, so I've been kind of wanting to go back to it and try it again. So I failed a couple times on this one, and it was pretty frustrating because I was actually trying to go for a different composition and it didn't really work out. So I ended up scraping that and then going back and redoing it. And the second time the composition worked fine, but I'm not sure if it has to do with my paint brands or the opacity or transparency of my paints as to the results that I got in the very end, because I noticed that the satin enamels swallowed up a lot of the color on this one. And I loved it when it was vibrant and really pretty with the vibrant colors, but after it dried very dull. So I might be playing around with this a little bit more with colors, but I will also show you at the end a sneak peek at the collaboration, just a very small part of the collaboration picture, because it will show how the different colors dried so differently. So I don't know if it's in my formula as to why this one didn't dry super great, or if it's that, some of these were semi-opaque. This pink was opaque. The titanium white was opaque. I don't know if it's because I used Amsterdam mostly paints as to why they were kind of eaten up a lot. But I love those colors all together. They all look really pretty. So in this technique, the key to this technique is, again, a very thin base coat, and not blowing the white over top of the colors, and also putting very little paint down on the canvas, so that your Dutch pour portion doesn't kind of spray and get a little fan out more. So I really kind of liked the way this one was looking, and so I thought I'd try it. The other important thing in this technique is hair dryer being on low, cool, and putting the hair dryer very close to the canvas so that it will actually move the paint. Because when I'm with my hair dryer, if I get my hair dryer very close on low, it will push paint, but if it's on low and I'm a little bit farther, it won't move the paint very much at all. So I found that when I put my blow dryer very close and very little amount of paint, that it will move it, and it won't fan out into large fans. It just kind of almost has this really pretty ripple effect on the edges, which I think is really cool. So that's where the fail happened right there. I thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool to cross over these and give it a little bit more depth. And it basically just pushed the paint up and made it look wonky. And so I was like, well, maybe if I just take the paint and kind of draw it back with my skewer, it might work, or with my popsicle stick. And that one that I'm working on now is better. It worked out better with that one. But that middle one, I wasn't a fan of how that worked out. So I did decide here in a second that I would try and redo that Dutch pour portion over top of that strip and kind of make it more like a lace interlacing, kind of like a what they called a pie lacing on top. I don't know if that's what, but I thought I'd give that a little shot. And so I'm gonna re-pour that one, and you're going to see that it turns out terrible, and that's where I scrape. So I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of this, listen to some music, and I'm gonna stop talking, but I'm not loving the end result with the colors on this one. I think the color just got ate up too much, but I love this technique. I'm going to keep experimenting with this technique and experimenting with different colors to see which colors are working and which are not. I've heard other artists say that opaque colors work best for this technique because they don't get as swallowed up. But I don't know if I agree with that, and so I'm just not sure if it's the paint brands that may have issues, but I noticed that I really lost the black. It just sank, and I didn't really have much left of it in the final painting. Oh yeah, we can see that was terrible. Terrible. Used too much paint. Obviously, you can see how that one really fanned out, and I scraped. And so I was able to, because I knew I was going to be doing another base coat of white, and I knew that it was going to be very minimal amount of paint. I did go ahead and wipe this canvas very clean, so that when I poured on top of it, none of that black or other colors would show through, not only on the top, but also on the sides. So, okay guys, thank you for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Got some exciting things coming up. Got 2 collaborations with myself and my dad from DJ Fluid Arts. Go over there and check him out. And 2 other artists coming up, so that's really exciting. And today I got challenged to the Do's and Don'ts challenged by Chris Jazek. I think I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, Chris, if I'm not. But Gina DeLuca had challenged her, and so she did it with Gina DeLuca, and then she challenged me. So that will also be coming up. So a couple of exciting things coming up in the next few weeks to keep your eye out for. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you again for being here, you all, and have a great day.